As part of our mission to work for a responsible future, we invited all business school students to take part in the Responsible Business Student Challenge. In partnership with Deloitte, we asked students to act as a consultant to a chosen business or organization and make recommendations on how they can be responsible in a post-pandemic world. We had submissions from across the school and are absolutely delighted to share the top 3 entries with you in this video.
The judging panel were incredibly impressed with the quality of all the submissions, and we were delighted to award Kaan Selek with the first prize, which is a summer internship with Deloitte. Kaan's video hit the mark perfectly. It was well researched and it was creative. Congratulations also go to Isabel Lane, whose video came second, and James Roth, who came third. The panel were overwhelmed with the creative way in which these 3 students engaged in the topic and created such professional videos.
The special commendation goes to Isaac Fellingham Adkins and Tamara Saltykov. I would like to thank all students for taking part. It's been great to see students at all levels and across all business school disciplines consider what it means to be a responsible organisation as we emerge from the pandemic. I've really enjoyed seeing such creative approaches to the challenge and the research and presentation skills of our students. Here are the top 3.
Hi, I'm Kaan, a second year business management student at the University of Birmingham. After completing a responsible business module last semester, I've become increasingly aware of the impacts COVID has had on businesses and the environment. With cases dropping, this challenge has been a great opportunity to see how businesses can adapt in the light of the pandemic and build back better. Enjoy the video. When COVID-19 first began to engulf Europe, many rushed to the supermarket to stockpile, while others hit their mobiles. That's for me. Worldwide Google searches for food delivery and local food hit all-time highs in April last year. But despite 54% of Brits ordering takeaway from pizza and Italian restaurants, sales declined due to enforced closures, as well as the surge in home cooking. One example of this is Pizza Express. The firm has also faced rising costs, strengthening competition, and slowing consumer confidence. As part of a CVA last September, the firm closed 73 branches, but with £400 million worth of debt cleared up, near normal levels of business are expected if virus containment levels are successful. But what if they don't aim for normal, and instead aim to address the challenges caused by the pandemic to build back better and accelerate radical transformation? With over 470 restaurants across the UK and over 100 overseas, they have a significant environmental impact throughout their value chain, from procurement to packaging to pollution. This has only been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic has had significant socio-economic disruption, indirectly or directly affecting the environment in terms of air, water and soil quality. Furthermore, quarantine policies have meant there has been an increase in home delivery, which has increased household waste. Countries such as the UK have also postponed some waste recycling and sorting activities, increasing the need for landfill and environmental pollutants. This more intense focus on environmental issues has shifted sustainability in the minds of executives from a nice to have into a must have. This is not only to become more resilient, it's also to satisfy increasing demands from stakeholders to engage in responsible business. The 2015 Nielsen study found that global consumers are willing to change their consumption habits to lessen their impact on the environment. Millennials in particular are willing to pay more for products that have sustainable ingredients or engage in responsible business. Being a brand that consumers trust and believes care about their well-being, it's imperative for Pizza Express's brand identity to transform towards more sustainable operations. If the organisation commits to sustainable products and practices, they could gain a competitive advantage and benefit from increased market share by converting sustainability-minded consumers. So my recommendations will be guided by a university-shared set of aspirations, the UN Sustainable Development Goals. These act as a useful tool for any organisation to look at their partners, suppliers and customers through the lens of the SDGs. Companies such as Pizza Express should use this to act not just within the walls of their company, but within the ecosystem they are part of. First, start with small wins. This includes things like cutting down on packaging and single-use plastics such as cling film, and instead moving to reusable containers. The rigorous water treatment process can greatly contribute to carbon emissions. Consider switching to motion sensor taps to watch water use in your restaurants. You can also implement energy management by switching to more eco-friendly providers and by using motion sensor LEDs. But to make a greater difference, reduce your carbon footprint. The best way to do this is to think globally and act locally. Track your supply chain and look at ways of shortening your carbon mileage, such as using seasonal produce or local suppliers. This will also give you better quality ingredients for tastier pizzas. WRAP statistics show restaurants are responsible for almost 200,000 tonnes of food waste. To put that into perspective, the average bin lorry holds 10 to 20 tonnes. Remember, waste isn't waste until we waste it. Consider joining a charity to cheaply sell or donate your food, such as FareShare. We provide almost 1 million meals a week for vulnerable people. Finally, most livestock farming and fishing will become unsustainable due to emissions, pollution and deforestation. Add more vegetarian and vegan options to make a change towards sustainability and diversify your menu. With the growth of the meat-free food market expected to grow at a rate of 37% over the next 3 years, this comes with the added bonus of attracting a rapidly growing consumer base. All of this and more contribute to SDG 12, responsible production and consumption. A 2015 study has found that corporate responsibility can increase sales revenue by up to 20%, consumer satisfaction by up to 10%, and decrease employee turnover by up to 50%. While this isn't an overnight process, it's well within PT Express's best interests to make the environment a key stakeholder in its organisation. With the exact scope of the impact of the pandemic yet to be seen, what is for certain is that the world will never go back to how it was. But as sustainability gains more and more space in the construction of a new normal, PT Express must take action by preparing for their future accordingly. Thank you for watching.
The pandemic has simultaneously disrupted the supply and demand sides of the diamond market. Logistical collapses, lockdowns and business closures have rocked the supply chains. And on the demand side, loss of income from morbidity, quarantine and unemployment has weakened economic prospects and lowered household consumption. But according to Bain & Co, in this graph there is a strong evidence of a revival of the diamond industry supply chain between 2022 and 2024. COVID-19 has accelerated two critical changes in consumer behaviours, the rise of digital shopping and sustainable consumerism. For the diamond industry, the top concern is conflict-free supply chains, and consumers, shareholders and employees all want to know if this is happening. It is now essential that your value chain is transformed to ensure emissions are reduced, workers are treated fairly and full traceability is provided. The pandemic has also accelerated emerging trends in digital marketing, another point in the value chain which can be revolutionised to meet new ethical consumers. Here is how we're going to do it. This is Tracer. It provides a sustainable and ethically responsible solution to revolutionising the value chain. It is essentially a digital passport for all diamond stones. Using IBM blockchain technologies, the service provides a foolproof trail of each diamond's journey from the mine to the consumers. It is priceless. It creates complete assurance for your employees, shareholders and most importantly your customers of their diamond's origin and ethical sourcing. And its purpose for creation is directly linked to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which have become ever more important in light of the pandemic. Across the borders, industry leaders such as De Beers, KGK, Signet Jewelers have piloted Tracer and since the pandemic have implemented it fully to their supply chain. Not only does Tracer prove to consumers that their diamonds are authentic, being mined in safe and fair working environments, the cost of implementing blockchain is a long-term investment for all stakeholders. Employees will see less burden in administrative activities, consumers are evidently craving the proof of a healthy supply chain, and shareholders will benefit from the potential profit increases and company value. Since you are currently holding a strong and stable financial position, with Rose showing there is huge chunks of profit available that can be reinvested into this strategy, and also having a healthy cash ratio, now is the ideal time to take this step. Tracer will cost on average $50 for each diamond, but this is a minor cost compared to these key 4 strategic opportunities it unlocks. Also, blockchain evidences in other industries have proven to cut operating costs by 30% and made time-saving efficiencies of 50%. Also, validating the provenance of your product is only going to increase its value. The Vrio analysis shows the core strengths of your current resources. Whilst Tracer will add a new valuable resource, it will only provide a temporary sustainable competitive advantage, as obviously it is imitable, but the way to add value in the long term is through marketing. As we know, the pandemic has moved sales from in-store to online. Implementing Tracer at the same time the digital marketing space is being revolutionised gives way for a wealth of opportunities. Consumers now have digital proof of the journey their diamonds have taken. The benefits of Tracer is its image, which will now add a new dimension to the story of Beaverbrooks, a sustainable, ethical and responsible one. And as is known, stories can become traditions and traditions can build trust. Currently, a social media story is lacking to address a sustainable consumerism narrative. Adopting a new phygital strategy, blending both the physical and the digital, consumers can receive a personable in-store experience online that champions the traceability and sustainability of their diamonds. This is perfect for the diamond industry, when 95% of consumers like to check the product online but make the final purchase in-store. And marketing strategies can easily be implemented using creative agencies such as Action Rocket or Kota, who can provide ROI of up to 40%. Personalised CRM messages can also increase engagement rates by 25%, whilst ensuring all marketing endeavours are coherent and an omni-channel presence is created will increase retention by 33%. This is the future of a digital relationship with consumers. Embodying Tracer into your value chain is both a long-term necessity and truly exciting opportunity. In the eyes of consumers, employees and all stakeholders, Beaverbrooks' ethical reputation will soar. This is the first step in the diamond industry's move to Supply Chain 4.0, and being the first UK company to implement Tracer will inevitably provide you with a clear sustainable competitive advantage. And with the right marketing, we can build a responsible, traceable and trustworthy diamond that is forever.
Hello, my name is James Roth. I'm here today to give my recommendations to H&M on how they can increase trust and sales through promoting their sustainability awareness and introducing a certification system warranted in the wake of a post-COVID-19 world. H&M already do a lot in regard for sustainability. They have a new range of sustainable products. They invest in their factories delivering employee training initiatives. They are investing in new technologies such as Circular ID, which embeds microchips into their clothing to track its lifespan and if it ends up recycled. It is the #1 ranked company by the Fashion Transparency Index of 2020 for transparency and sustainability. However, despite all this, it could do better, much better. As the market leaders in fast fashion, they are setting the way for how companies should deliver their products. By zooming out and looking at the future, we are aware that the sustainability market is expected to reach an estimated valuation of $12 trillion by 2030. Companies are having to coincide with new emission laws. Consumers are now more concerned about the environment than ever before. Due to COVID-19 and the lockdown, we have seen the effects of CO2 on our atmosphere. And most importantly, companies are trying to abide by the UN Sustainability Development Goals. Goal 12 should not be an aim for H&M, it should be achieved. I think by looking into the small changes the company can implement as soon as this year, it will lead to H&M accelerating far beyond any competition and be the new face of sustainability. Firstly, H&M need to set a standard transparency goal for the distance travelled by a garment and CO2 emissions that have been created by it. Then, next to each product on H&M's website, an honest, transparent supply chain should be published. In this, it should include an exact supply chain from where the material was sourced, whether it is classified as sustainable fabric, how far that material has travelled to get to the factory, and any other destinations along the way until it ends up within the exact warehouse or store that the consumer is buying from. Modes of transport should also be listed, whether it's by plane, boat or lorry. Through this, an algorithm can be made to work out the exact distance of travel and estimated CO2 cost. If this is below the set goal that H&M have created for itself, the garment can be certified as sustainable. Other companies in different industries have been doing this for years. For instance, Nintendo. They started their own certification process in the 80s to promote games they believed to be of higher quality and therefore increasing perceived value to the consumer. This certificate is called the Nintendo Seal of Quality and is still used today. It was attempted to be copied by Sega, however it did not last very long. Some believe that it might be due to the competitive edge that Nintendo had over Sega. This is why it is so important that H&M are the early adopters to this idea of certification. According to UK research, over half of UK consumers have said they value sustainability. However, the majority do not trust firms claiming to be sustainable. This is why, through a certification process, both faith and trust can be given to the consumer and create a positive relationship with H&M. There have been calls already for a categoric certificate to be given to sustainable products by consumers. It has been said that through a certification process, consumers are much more likely to trust the company. Since H&M already invest in sustainability and emerging technologies, I believe it is the perfect company to introduce this process, giving them the competitive edge. It will also create a trickle-down effect, where other major fashion firms will see that the emerging sustainability market and the consumer trust is vital to their marketing and sales efforts. Through COVID-19, consumers have learnt to care for the air that we breathe, and it is predicted that they will reflect that in their purchasing habits post-COVID. This is why, when a company claims to be sustainable, it is important that they can be transparent and back their claims, especially if they want to target the $12 trillion market that sustainability is pushing. H&M do much more than many other companies for sustainability, but is it enough? Does it need to be hidden behind a wall of text on their website? It can become their greatest selling point. It can all start through an honest supply chain being printed in black and white next to their product with a certification system in place.